Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. It's clean-up day. I'm not going to be filming too much of this because the filming will slow me down, but I'll try and do some bits as I go along. But I can tell you the project plan. First job is to water the mounts because they're coming into the drier atmosphere, and the task may go to 2 days. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping to have a plodding day, just plod away at it all day long, but not rush, and try and get it all done in 1 day. But the idea is, once I've watered the mounts and they've finished dripping and everything, it's a process of take the mounts off of one of the wire hangers, then bring the hanger indoors so that I've got somewhere to hang mounts. I've got some hooks in the house where I can hang those up, so I'll get a lot of the mounts hung up, and you know, and literally repeat that process until all the mounts are safely indoors. That's the ceiling stuff done. And then the idea is to clear one set of shelves off and put the plants on the table, so I've got quite a large table, and then bring that set of shelves indoors empty. Be impossible to carry these shelves with plants sat on them. They'd be all over the place, and then I'd have more mess to clear up. And then basically clear the plants off the second shelf onto the first shelf once it's indoors, and repeat that process until all the plants are indoors. And then effectively get as much equipment out as I can. A lot of it is just plugged in, it can just be unplugged. Some of it's going to have to stay where it is, and I'll have to clean round it. We'll do that, and then I'll get my stand in. Get the fogger's just plugged in, so that can just come out. And once the place is empty, get a brush, sweep down all the cobwebs and everything, and get all the mess onto the floor. And then at that stage I can get the hoover in here and hoover the carpet to get the muck off of it, you know, the bits and pieces, bits of bark and all stuff like that, and sweep up the concrete, get all the bits of bark and everything off of that, and then I've got like a clean sort of start point. And then the idea is to mix up the Fisan 20, 1 tablespoon per gallon apparently, but that's a US gallon I suspect. So just looking back at the comments when I got the Fisan 20, it appears that 1 tablespoon of Fisan with 5 litres of water is strong enough as a sterilising solution. And then I'm going to brush down the wooden slats with the Fisan 20, so they'll get wet, go over the glass, and literally start at the top and work downwards so that you know, so that the water ends up all over the floor. Give that concrete a going over, because there's algae on there and everything, so that'll kill that algae off, and sterilise as much of the place as I possibly can. And then I've got a steam mop which I will give the carpet a go. I'm going to see if the carpet will come up, because quite honestly, if I had a complete concrete floor, I can use that to help with humidity by wetting it down. But obviously, you know, the carpet does get wet and it does get algae on it, and it would be better if it wasn't there. But it took an incredibly long time to get that piece of carpet up where the concrete is, because I knew there'd be water splashing around there. That was the only place I had racks at one time, just along that bit. All this lot came later. But if the carpet will come up easily, I'll get rid of it. I don't think it will, and it'll end up having to stay. And then it's just a process really of cleaning the shelves off. Obviously I'll have 1 empty shelf, and clean that set of shelves off. You know, get some Fisan over the grills and the posts and everything like that, and get it as clean as I can, and bring that empty set of shelves back in and start bringing some plants back in, and progressively get the plants back in. So I don't plan on filming a huge amount, and obviously it'll be done in bits and pieces during the day. The video won't be complete until I finish the job. So although this is early Sunday morning, I'm just about to start and at least get the mounts watered so they can finish dripping. The video won't get posted for a while, obviously, because the job is more important than the filming. But I'll try and do bits and pieces as I go along, and we'll see how we go. I don't know about you lot, but I find this comical to the point where I'd like to walk up to somebody and just bat them round the back of the head. I've just had a look on the Fisan 20 website for the sort of mixing instructions, and on there we've got millilitres being mixed with gallons, no statement on what type of gallon. We've then got teaspoons and gallons, we've got tablespoons and gallons, and in some places we've got ounces and gallons. Litres. Friendly advice. Litres. It's a liquid, not a powder. Litres, millilitres, and everybody reads from the same hymn sheet. Or I really could bat some people round the ear holes and say, it is 2018, not 1800. Get a grip. Get into the modern world. Get it sorted. If you're using liquids, we use litres. Anyway, I've got it sorted. But it makes me laugh to the point of almost crying. Just come into the modern world, please. And even if you don't do that because you refuse to let go of the old ways, at least be consistent, you know, and define what you mean by a teaspoon or a tablespoon or a gallon. And don't just leave it to chance. I'm mucking about with chemicals here. Anyway, I know what I'm doing. So this is the general idea with the mounts, is to clear a rack off, water the plants, allow them to drip, and then set these racks up. I've got several of these hooks that are left around from the what the Christmas lights were hooked on. So they're strong enough to take the weight, they're into the wall, and just get them watered and then clear a rack off, let them drip, get a rack inside, and get the mounts set up. So start at the top, get the high stuff done, and gradually work down. I've deliberately left the heating off today so the house is cool, and in addition to that I'm going to keep some water handy, and as I pick each pot up, if it seems particularly dry, the fact that it's now going to go into a dry atmosphere and I might not get the plants back out here today, at least they're moist at the pot while they're in the dry atmosphere in the house. So that should take care of any that are particularly dry. So it's just a matter of taking the mounts down from the racks, water them, put them somewhere to drip because I don't want them dripping all over the house. And once the rack's empty, take it indoors, hang it up, and when the plants are finished dripping, get them indoors out of the way. Here's a thought on the workload. There's around 200 plants out here, and I'm not going to risk carrying two at once because one would be in my left hand and could easily be dropped. And then there's the shelves and all the equipment, and each item needs carrying from in here to in the house. So I'm going to be going backwards and forwards well over 200 times to get it all out, and repeat the process to get it all back in. Wonder how many miles that will add up to. What's the other thing I can do while the racks are out of the way is replace my sticky papers. They're basically sticky fly traps, and they're very good for the fungus gnats and, well, various other things. The odd spider gets caught on them, but they keep some of the flying insects down. The yellow ones are really good for the fungus gnats, and the blue ones I specifically got because at some point in the dim and distance I thought I had thrips. Thrips are not attracted to yellow, but they are to blue, so I got some of those as well. But I've got some spares of those, so I can replace those, and they do their job. Right, that's all the hanging stuff got inside. I'm beginning to get a feeling of what it must be like for you people who grow in a home. I don't know how you do it, quite honestly. Utilising every bit of hanging space I can find for everything that's on a hook. So we're getting there. Break time. So this is the sort of general idea. Clear one set of shelves off. All those plants have gone on the table and they can stay there. Then get that set of shelves in here and move all the plants off the next set of shelves onto the empty set and repeat the process until the place is empty. I was just thinking to myself, I was doing so well. It was inevitable. But that's one that's just fallen out of its pot, and that might be immediately rationalised on the grounds that I can see the roots ain't too clever. So that one will probably just not go back in the pot. What a mess. I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I've dropped 2 mounts. That's the first pot that's got knocked over. My own fault for putting it on the edge of the shelf, but more mess to clear up. Right, that's all the plants in the house now, all over the flipping place. I don't think I'll be watching much telly today somehow, but everything's in here now in some shape or form. Only one disaster with a pot, not too bad, and the couple of mounts that I dropped didn't get damaged. So all in all, that's that bit done. Now I've got to de-wire some things, my little computer fans, and get the last of the shelves and this lot out of the way. And then we can start the clear up process. And oh, I forgot the Vanders, better take them in. Well, they can now hang off the side of one of the racks. I've got somewhere to hang them. And then we can start sweeping down all the cobwebs and everything, get everything down to the floor, clean up the floor, and then we can start the sterilising. And if the sun comes out and it starts to get hot in here, we have a plan. Basically, all I'll do is unseal the inlet fan and plug it in. And then the inlet fan and the extractor fan between them will cool it right down. So I have a plan for that, should the sun come out. Right, I think it's, let's get these last pair of shelves out and then it'll be food and coffee break. I wonder if I would have ever found that if I hadn't cleared up. Slug, do without that. Certainly looks big now it's empty and it's all echoey. Yeah, next thing is cleaning. That's taken 2 hours so far. Started at 8, it's now 10 o'clock. So that's not bad going. I think I might actually get everything back in today, but a lot of it depends on how the cleaning part actually goes, because that's an unknown, because I haven't done it before. So we'll see how we get on. Right, we're getting there. I've sort of got the worst of the cobwebs down, had a good sweep to get all the surface stuff up. I'm now going to give the carpet a hoover, because obviously that will give it a good bashing. But basically I've swept the carpet and the floor to get the worst of the bits up. That was a hands and knees and a dustpan and brush job. Very pleasant, not. But I'll give the carpet a quick hoover, then I'm going to get the steam mop out and give it a go with that. And then the whole of the carpet will actually get a spray with the Fisan, along with the woodwork and the glass, carefully avoiding the electrics. And that means the place is going to be soaking wet, and I'll see where I go from there. Okay, in case the sun comes out, which I don't think it will, but nonetheless I want this air getting changed, so I've put the inlet fan on, so that's a cold blast coming in from outside, and then that's the extractor fan, so it constantly changes the air. That's 5 litres in there, which is a bit more than a US gallon, bearing in mind this is US stuff. And again, a tablespoon. Well, whose tablespoon should we use then? Well, a UK tablespoon is like 17, 18 millilitres, something like that. So I'm just going to put 20 mil in 5 litres. It's near enough. It's only a cleanser. It's not like I'm going to get it on plants or anything like that. It's just to sterilise. And then when I've mixed it up, I'm going to put some in the sprayer, spray the carpet, spray the algae on the floor so that can have time to soak, because it says for algae treatment on floors and stuff it should have half an hour to an hour of soaking. So I'll get the floor wet and then I'm going to use the paintbrush to go over the wood and the glass. Obviously the water's going to run down, more water will get round the base than anywhere else, but then that's the worst that needs the treatment. So let's get on with that then. Well, it says it should be frothy, and frothy it is. Right, that's everything given a good soak, apart from the carpet. I haven't done that. I've got a feeling I'm not going to do the carpet, although it would be good, but I can't stop the cats coming in here. They're going to walk on it and get it on their paws and then wash their paws, so I think I'm just going to have to leave that. It's been there all this time. I've had a good soaking of Fisan where the algae is, so obviously that bit of the carpet has got some on, but you know, you do what you can do. I've done the glass, I've done all the bricks, I've done all the woodwork, kept well away from the electrics. So there's certain areas haven't been done. I'm not dripping water where there is actual electrics. So I've, you know, all around this base area. This was the worst area here because obviously I get a lot of splashing going on here where I water and where the plants drain, you know, so this has had a good go. And now what I'm going to do is get some kitchen towel and dry the glass off, because the water actually got, sorry, the Fisan stuff got quite dirty doing the job. Obviously that's going to dry on the glass if I leave it, so I'll just go around with a bit of kitchen towel and clean the glass off a bit. I'm not fussed if it's not absolutely sparkling clean. It'll be cleaner than it was before, that's for sure. And then the next time I do a spray on the plants in situ, it'll all get on the glass again. So, you know, it's a defeatist type thing, trying to keep the glass clean when all the plants are in front of it. But that's having a good soak. We'll take a break now, get some food and a coffee, and then come back when hopefully it's starting to dry off a bit. And then what I'll probably do is I'll give that algae area a scrub. I've got a stiff brush, and give that a good scrub to make sure everything's loose. In theory it would be better to let it dry, but that could take ages. And I'm given the time of day now is just coming up to 12 o'clock. I've got time to finish this today and get the plants back in. What's going to slow me up is trying to sterilise those actual shelving bits, which I don't plan on doing that absolutely thoroughly. All I'm going to do is get some clean Fisan and get a cloth and just wipe them over. Basically, that'll be better than they've ever had before, and then I should at least get most of the plants back in today, if not all of them. So yeah, long day, but needed doing. And I think I want to dry the place off. Obviously an awful lot of liquid, which given what it contains is going to evaporate into the air. So I've turned the extractor and the inlet fan off and turned the heater on with the circulating fan, warm it right up in there until I see it drying, and then change the air again with the extractor and the circulating fan. So the plants might not go back in today, but I'm going to feel more comfortable if this place is dried right off before I start being in it for any length of time, shall we say. So yeah, warm it all up. Obviously the air will get incredibly moist and humid, but then I'll change the air and keep going until it's dried off.